What's going on, guys? So in this YouTube video, I'm going to show you a really advanced scaling method that I personally use that I don't know that a lot of other people use too frequently, but this is a good way. If you have campaigns on YouTube that are already performing and you want to scale them up quickly without even having any potential of messing up the original campaign, this method is perfect for that. And if you stick around until the end of the video, I'm going to show you an online tool you can use to make this method pretty automated and really easy to carry out whenever you have a high performing campaign. So let's jump into it. So the name of this method is how to scale your YouTube ads using demographics. So what is demographic scaling? If you currently have two demographic segments that are performing equally, then they can be split in order to scale the campaign. For example, if you have a campaign where both men and women perform equally, then you can split the campaign into two. You can duplicate the campaign twice and run one just to men and run one just to women. So you end up with three campaigns, the original with the combined, and then the duplicates of one for the men and one for the women. So you pretty much just tripled your daily budget in one move, and the chance they're going to perform is very high because you already saw from your data that both of those demographic segments already performed for you. So let's go into the actual ads and I'll show you where to find this. Now, these campaigns don't have any data. These are just test campaigns. But where you go is you click on your campaign, you go here to the left where it says demographics, and let's go to gender because we just use that as an example. And what you do here is up here at the timeline, you set this to all time. Then for this blue one right here, you set this to conversions, cost per conversion, and then this red one, you set it to conversions total. Then from there, you can see your cost per conversion, you can see your total conversions, and you will also be able to see a nice bar graph showing your data. Now, one important thing to note here is that if your campaign, let's say female, the cost per conversion is low, like very good cost per conversion, but this red bar is really short, like it only has a couple conversions, you might want to wait a little bit longer before duplicating it out. You might want to wait for YouTube to feed a little bit more data here and get it a few more conversions, which it doesn't always do. Sometimes you can just kind of wing this method and just duplicate it anyway because YouTube is refusing to push budget towards one of these demographics. But it is nice to know that it has enough conversions to be statistically significant. So this is where you go in order to see your demographics. And all you would do, let's say male and female are both performing, you would take the campaign, duplicate it twice, copy and paste twice, and then on one it would just be male. You would turn off the female, and then the other one would just be female. So that's how you go about that scaling method. Now, there's an added layer of complexity to this. It's called demographic multiplying scaling. So what is this? This is an advanced technique where you take performing demographics and split them off into all possible combinations. So let's say male and female both perform, and also so do both desktop and mobile. Given this data, there are four possible combinations. So male and female perform, desktop and mobile perform. There are four combinations that you should duplicate this out into: female desktop, female mobile, male desktop, and male mobile. Now, this is a more advanced technique, and it's only if you have the budget for it, but it's a really, really good way to take campaigns from very low scale. You have one campaign, and now we just turned it into 4 campaigns. And you can potentially turn it into even more than that if you have more performing demographic segments. And there, when you go into your demographics, there's a lot of different things that you can end up multiplying. You have age, you have gender, you have parental status, household incomes, and then you have the combinations. This is kind of it already telling you that data, but a lot of the time it doesn't spend enough money in different combination segments for you to really say like, okay, these are definitely the ones. So this multiplying method really holds strong. Now, obviously this can get complicated. If you have, it's not too complicated with just two genders, desktop and mobile, but if you start adding in age groups, household incomes, different things like that, that's where this can get a little bit dicey, and you'll have to go back to, I forget what was that, like high school math or something, where you have to find all possible combinations of different data sets. But there's a tool that makes this really easy that I'm going to show you guys. So the tool is called Merge Words. It's called toptal.com or something like that. But basically what this does is it makes it really easy for us to find all possible combinations given different lists. So let's say male performed, female performed. Let's say mobile, desktop, and what's another variable that we can add? Let's do lower 50% income, and let's say top 10% income. I don't think that would ever happen to where your performing segments would be lower 50 and top 10, but whatever. Okay, one thing that you want to make sure, sometimes this tool will add an extra like enter right there, and you want to delete that. You want to make sure that when you click down here, it brings you to the end of the last word. So we're good. Now we're going to hit merge, and here are our 8 possible combinations. These are all of our performing demographics split out into all possible combinations. And you would go ahead and make one campaign for each of these. So this would be a campaign, this would be a campaign, this would be a campaign, this would be a campaign. And what I recommend doing to make this a lot easier is just use a VA. I pass this off to a VA. You can hire, a VA off of Upwork for like, $4 an hour, and it'll take them 30 minutes to do this. But every time you have a performing campaign, tell them like, hey, take this campaign, make duplicates of it, and you only use these combinations for the demographics that I sent you. And that way it's a really rapid way so that when you have a performer, you just send it to the VA, you send them all possible combinations, you go like, hey, take care of this, set it to launch at midnight. And there you go. Now, all of these won't necessarily perform. There is a random element to these platforms, Facebook, YouTube, pretty much any media buying platform. There is a random element to where sometimes, these demographics theoretically should perform because they performed in the last campaign, but for whatever reason, they're not performing now. There's a lot of different options there. There's a lot of different things I could go into that are out of the scope of this video. You can always duplicate the ones that don't perform. You can just turn it off and say, hey, look, I got enough performers that it doesn't really matter, because you will get performers out of this. A lot of these are going to perform. And guys, this is a really good way to scale. This is a really good way to scale because it doesn't mess up your original campaign. It doesn't have you scaling vertically, and it quickly can like quadruple, quintuple, whatever, your budget. Now, each of these demographic segments can now be vertically scaled. So you can take each of these demographic segments that performs once you run it for 48 hours, and you can start to increase the budget on them. So you can see how this can get you to massive scale really quickly. But that's it for this video, guys. That is it for the demographic scaling method. I hope that was valuable to you. If you have any performing campaigns, I recommend going and testing it out on them. If you want to learn more about YouTube ads and ask me questions directly about YouTube ad campaigns, anything related to YouTube, I have a private Facebook group below. You can join that for free. Ask me any questions in there that you want. Every Wednesday, I go live at 7 p.m. and will answer your questions live. Also, I have a coaching program. If you want to learn how to scale your business directly one-on-one with me using YouTube ads, there is a link to schedule a call beneath this video. You'll talk with me directly, and we'll see if YouTube ads are a good fit for your business. That's it for this video, guys. If you want to see more videos, they're over here to the right. If you like this type of content, you're looking to learn more about YouTube ads, there is a link to subscribe beneath this little square I'm in, and you can subscribe there. I release about 4 videos a week currently. Some of the most advanced methods on how to scale your business using YouTube ads. That's it for today's video, guys. I'll see you later.